What is your attitude towards sin? You know, some folks out in the world, they sometimes paint sin as something that is glorious, something that is exciting, something that one would long to do, and if one was not engaged in it, they are somehow missing out in something that they deem as worthy of life and worthy of all of our time and energy. But how does the Bible look at sin? What's the kind of attitude that we ought to have as we consider the way in which God views this topic of sin? Well, we learn in Job chapter 1, verse 1, that Job was a man who eschewed evil. That word eschewed has the idea of him being absolutely disgusted by it. He was repulsed by evil. That which was contrary to God, he viewed almost as something that would cause someone to vomit or someone to reject physically and mentally and almost look at it as though it was a disease. That was Job's mindset. He eschewed evil. When we think about the psalmist in Psalm 119, 104, we learn that he pens that he hates every false way. So Job eschewed evil. The psalmist hates every false way. And then when we likewise think about what Paul said to the Corinthians in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 3, we learn that Jesus Christ died for our sins. He died for our sins. Now, something that put Jesus Christ on the cross, something that caused Jesus to suffer what he went through in going to the cross, is that something that we ought to be attracted by? Is it something that we ought to desire to engage in? Something we ought to lift up and glorify and want to spend all of our time and energy and life participating in? No, it's not at all. If we want to be godly, if we want to have the same attitude that God describes that faithful children of His have had throughout time, again, such as Job and the psalmist, then we are going to likewise eschew evil. We're going to hate every false way. We're going to be disgusted with that which put Jesus Christ on the cross. We're not going to be attracted by it. We're not going to be allured by it, but we're going to be repulsed by it. Maybe you have the mindset that sin is okay, or sin is something that we can joke about and laugh about, and maybe the desire to engage in from time to time. Well, if you have that type of desire, friend, you have a desire and an attitude and a mindset that is quite contrary to the Bible. Let's fix that mindset. Let's view sin the way we ought to view it, something that is disgusting, something that we are repulsed by, something that we hate.